Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to another Supercoach Insider podcast. My name is Swizz, here with another episode of the Booms and Bust series featuring the one and only Abs from SCodfather. He is an absolute genius. I'm glad to have you on the show, mate. Welcome.
Thank you for having me on, Swizz. It's an absolute pleasure. It's an honor just to come onto your show, Swizz. So I'm excited.
Oh, that's good, mate. No, we go way back, of course. So no, it's always great to chat Supercoach with you, mate.
And it's good to see that you got that Richmond top on. I've actually got my Richmond top on as well, but you can't see it. So it's a brand new one. So I'm excited too.
As somebody who has met you in person that many times, so that I know you're probably having a Richmond top on. So I think you probably, if you could, you'd wear it all the time, mate. You're a proud Tiger.
Actually, true story. I've got this Richmond hat on right now, a little cap, the little Richmond cap,
yeah,
2017 Premiership cap. I've had that on since 2017. I don't take it off, so that's been stuck on my head every night. Even when I go to bed, I sleep with that on. So even when I have a shower, the cap stays on the head, so it stays with me all the time.
I love it, mate. All right, before we jump in, as always, check us out on all our social media platforms, in particular YouTube, Spotify. Get in contact with us via Supercoach Insider 100, Swizz 26 for me directly. Mate, where can the good people out there find you, if they haven't already, because most people do follow you?
I'm usually, I hang around on Twitter a lot. On Facebook, I haven't been on there much, so hopefully one day I'll come back on there again. But Twitter and on the SCodfather channel, just have to type in SCodfather or Spud. If you type in Spud, I'm sure it'll come up a keyword.
It is the word of 2025 for you, mate, the Spuds. So hopefully they're not Spuds this year. You can go back and finish better than your fourth place a couple of years ago, mate. So I think that's obviously the goal.
Well, top 10, I don't want to win every year. So I'm happy for others to win, and I'm happy just to stay in the top 10. That makes me happy.
I love it. All right, so we're talking booms and busts, mate. Who is a player that you are absolutely sold on this year, who's going to have a ripping season, is your boom?
Now, there's a young boy at Hawthorn. He gets me very excited. His name is Will Day. And last year, when he was injured, and I was saying to myself, I was thinking, okay, I was in my head, and I was saying to myself, I should get this boy in. And I didn't, and I was happy I didn't, because he had a couple of bad games back to back, like 3 or 4 bad games coming back from injury. But did he get going afterwards? And I noticed Hawthorn got going afterwards, because they were 16th place on the ladder before Day came in. And once Day came in, the whole team just changed. Even every player improved once Day was in the team. So Will Day is the man for me.
Yeah, mate, I like that. As you said, slow start with the 67-58 coming back from injury, which is normal. At the end of the year, did have those injury-affected games, 40 and 10. So that's why he's only averaged at 91. So you are definitely getting an underpriced potential Uber Premium who put up some massive scores last year. We always like to see a player with a ceiling, and did have the so there's a 142, 137, 136 in his scoring just in last season. And then even the season before, we started to kind of see that breakout where he was putting up some good numbers. There was a 139 and a 141 amongst his other 100. So, definitely has the capacity to go high and be a good vice captain or even a solid captain option on any given week.
Yeah, what I noticed with Will Day, okay, is he doesn't tackle much. So he doesn't get many points from tackles, but where he gets his points, a lot of loose ball gets. So you'll see the ball on the ground, he'll pick it up. The minute he picks up that ball off the ground, it's 2 points. And he's got a very high disposal efficiency, like 75 to 80%. So his numbers are through the roof when it comes to disposing of that ball, but he does handball a lot, which is good too. It's a good thing because when he handballs, he gets it back. So it's like a handball, then handball receive, and he takes a few bounces. Every time he bounces that ball, it's an extra point as well. So he's a point scoring machine. It is built for Supercoach.
Well, actually, in those games he did have high tackle counts where there was a 10, 8, and 7. No surprise they were actually his highest scores for the year. So if he can lay tackles, that's the difference of taking him from sort of that 100 110 player to those 130, 140 scores.
Yeah.
So yeah, if he's running two ways, that's actually really good for us. But at least in games that might not be impacting defensively as much, he's still turning up.
Yeah, he's he's in my team. He's been locked in since the app, not the real app, but the imposter app has opened up. He's in my team.
I like it, mate. And then let's go the other side of things. Who is the popular player that you think is going to be an absolute bust this season?
I don't want to tell this to everyone because I'm going to be very sad. Okay, I know they're not going to come down when I want to tell this, but it's going to be Matt Flynn. Unfortunately, whoever has Matt Flynn in the team, I'm predicting now there's a season over before it started. Once you got Matt Flynn in your team,
Mate, the reason. I was about to ask you the reason, but
I'm going to give you the reason.
You give me the reason first. Go.
Okay, now. Because I looked him up, all right. I dug in, okay. I got the spies out on the ground. I did everything, okay. And I paid top dollar for these spies. And what it is with Matt Flynn is his first game he ever played. Mind you, he was in the system for a while, okay. But his first proper senior game at GWS, he scored a 140, okay. And it looks good. Everyone gets all more goal. Look, he's got a 140. He's a good player, okay. He's a gun. Now, yes, as a solo ruck. It's not bad, okay? It's good starts. It was against Marshall, I think, that day. So Marshall is one of the easiest ruckmen to score against because this boy, Flynn, is 202 centimeters, and Marshall's not as tall. So obviously he would have leaped over him. But the problem with Flynn is he's not a solo ruck at West Coast. He's got competition. We don't even know if he's going to get the gig at the ruck, okay? Because the competition is pretty good. I forget the boys now. I've got to look it
Williams,
up now.
Are you talking about?
Yeah, that's the boy Williams. And I looked up the stats, and I haven't got the stats in front of me now. But when I looked up the stats with Williams and Flynn in the team, Flynn didn't average much. His average dropped right down, and even his percentage of ruck time. It was like it was worse than when Grundy and Gawn were together. It was pretty bad. So it's a trap. I can see it being a trap, and that when you get Flynn in your team, where are you going to put him? You're not going to put him at R2. You're not going to put him at R3. You're going to put him at flex. And when you have Flynn at flex, and when a team like Abs Magic, okay, well when the team like Abs Magic has at flex Gawn. There's a difference, and that's going to be vice captain. You're costing yourself a ruckman that doesn't get tagged, that can against a weaker opposition that can go nuts. You're not getting in one of those players, and you're going to have a Flynn at that spot. It's going to hurt.
Mate, I love that because I'm pretty sure maybe one throughout the channels. I'll have to double check, but I think somebody may have even gone Flynn as their boom player this year. So I love it. I love the difference in the community and their thinking. You're a very wise man when it comes to that stuff, and I don't really like to argue against you. I have played around with the idea of Flynn at R2, I must admit, but it does make me question myself if you're thinking he is going to be the bust player.
Well, I started. I'm not going to lie, okay? I never had Flynn in my team, only because if I'm going to have a cheap ruckman in my team, he has to be like that. Like last year, Conway, he was 180k. It's okay to have a 180k ruckman. I was gambling, all right? Meek was cheap when we had Meek in the teams. So Flynn, he's not one of those gun rucks. He's okay. He's not even durable, okay? And he's only played 4 games or 5 games last year, so he's not. I mean, they said he's increased his fitness and his hammies are looking better, but I want to see it. Then I want to see him doing solo ruck because you don't want to have a Grundy Gawn situation where Grundy, if we can recall, he was cheap. It was a trap because he wasn't a solo ruck when Gawn was there, and they both suffered. And it's going to happen also with Flynn.
Yep. No, I like that, mate. Beautiful. All right. That'll do for us for Booms and Busts today. Abs, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me on, and it's been a pleasure.
No problems. Check us out for our next Booms and Bust episode, guys, and we will talk soon. Bye.